Hello, StreamYard. Not StreamYard, I guess. Everybody via StreamYard, YouTube, Substack as well. I'm trying to beam. I'm using the software to basically beam to Substack now, too. I'm getting my Substack going. So do check it out before I start TikTok. They don't like us talking about it. But my Substack, aravosis.substack.com. Go check it out. I'm trying to do a daily update over there. Yeah, hopefully this works. Let's see today. Hello, YouTubers. But yeah, I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing Substack as well, which will be kind of fun to try. So, all right, let me start on TikTok and then we are good. Oh, I was going to turn the light too. Hold on. I like to put my, there we go. There we go. The kitchen light fills in just a little, which isn't bad. It helps a little bit with the darkness in the room. So, all right. All right. There's TikTok. Excellent. Excellent. All right. Oops. Adjusting. There we go. Okay. And hopefully I won't make any Parker-like mistakes, although my bathroom's far away, so you shouldn't hear my bathroom. Anyway. See, now the only thing I don't like about using my phone cam, I'm using my phone cam on some other services, TikTok, as we speak. The only thing I don't like about the phone cam is it's on a bit of an angle so that when I'm looking at my computer, you see, I'm not looking at you guys. You know what I mean? It's hard to look at the phone. And my arm had broken. My arm for my phone had broken. And the one I've got is shorter. So it doesn't really go, dog, you just had enough. Cut it out. I literally just gave her water and she's begging for more water. Are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Unbelievable. Anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome. We've got a lot of people on a lot of different services today. Worth trying. So what the heck? Anyway. So how are we doing this evening, guys? I'm looking here. What am I looking at here? I was trying to see once again where, oh, there it is. There it is. Right. Facebook, Twitch. We do have somebody at Twitch. Hello, Twitch. So welcome, guys. Hi, Arena. Well, that's you know that. This is the cup that somebody's daughter made in like her shop class. She did the design in her shop class and then they can send the mugs to be made. But she did the design herself, like 13-year-old daughter, which was very kind of cool. So I thought that was very cool. Anyway, welcome everybody. John Aravosis here talking about the latest news from around the world. Obviously, very America focused. Well, obviously very America, especially with Trump and stuff because it matters. So we'll be talking about that. Please do keep the gifts coming. Not all the services allow gifts, but TikTok does. So we very much like the gifts on TikTok, YouTube as well. Otherwise, if you're on Substack or wherever, you might want to subscribe. That's not a bad thing. Paid subscribers are always welcome on Substack. I don't know if we got anybody on Substack here today. It doesn't. I don't know if it shows me. It might show me. If somebody comes on Substack, I'll be actually. If anybody's on my Substack, go over there and kind of do a look, and I can always see if it pops up on this end where it shows, who's there. Anyway, all right, guys. Let's get rolling. Yes, Pam Bondi. We're going to talk about Pam Bondi today. We're going to talk about Trump trying to indict members of Congress. Let's start with Trump trying to indict the members of Congress because it was such a horrific story. Then, thanks, who's ever. Yeah, just to try it. I'm curious if it's working on Substack, but also if once you get there, if it shows me that somebody is on over there, it might. I don't know if it'll show me because I had to end. Can't speak. I had to enter it as an SMTP thing, so it doesn't necessarily link the same way. Anyway, so I still want to start with Trump going after the members of Congress first. Epstein is the next big story. We're going to talk about that after the members of Congress, but there are a couple. Like I said, we'll start first. So Trump yesterday tried to indict 6 Democrats in Congress. Thank you, Franny, for becoming a new member on YouTube. Appreciate that. Trump tried to indict 6 members of Congress, 6 Democrats. It is working. Okay, excellent. Now let me just look. It is not showing me that people are online over there. Oh, hey, Michael, I see you're on Facebook. Oh, it's showing me who's on Facebook. That's kind of fun. It's funny how, because I use multiple services to stream, but it shows me Michael, Sasha. Oh, hey, Sasha, you too. SJ and Irina. Oh, that's kind of fun. It shows me actually who's over there, except I've got to scroll to look at it, so I can't always see it. But so yeah, let's start talking about Trump tried to imprison 6 members of Congress yesterday, 6 Democrats. Every day gets more and more horrific in terms of what he does, in terms of the crimes he's committing. Trump supporters love to do that. Oh, it's what they did to him. Nobody did anything to Trump. Trump tried to violently overthrow the government. It happened on January 6th. Nobody did anything to him. We've got the classified information fiasco. He stole classified information. He refused to return it, and then he obstructed justice. When Joe Biden found classified information at his house, right, he turned it over. And he didn't just turn it over. He said, come search all of my homes to make sure there isn't anything else. Trump said no. So, you bring it on yourself. Also, we are talking about one of the most corrupt presidents in all of American history, certainly going back over 100 years. And at this point, it's just not debatable anymore. He tried to imprison 6 members of Congress for publicly disagreeing with him. That's it. He tried to indict them. Now, a DC grand jury refused to indict, which is great. Oh, hey, Flower Lady. Yeah, it definitely doesn't show me who's on Substack, but that's okay. That's okay. At least it's working, which is good. 5 people on Substack. Excellent. Although you probably people I sent over there. But anyway, glad it's working. So, hey, Substackers. Trump was upset at the Democrats because these are the Dems who about 2 months ago, they did a video telling the troops that it is, and correctly, I'm a lawyer, correctly telling the troops it is their job, it is their duty as U.S. service members to refuse to follow an illegal order. It is against the law. You will go to prison if you are a U.S. soldier and you follow an illegal order. It is a crime under the UCMJ, Uniform Code of Military Justice. Google it. It is. Not just Google it. This is basic training 101. Our troops should have been trained early on that, the loyalty is to the Constitution. And if you get an order that breaks the law, you better not follow it. We had orders like that in Vietnam, and people were held accountable for it. A crime is a crime is a crime. Crime internationally as well. Thank you, Robert. You're right. So the Democrats went public and said, hey, David, went public and said that to the troops in a video that you must not, actually the Democrats I would say the Democrats got it wrong. The Democrats said you can disobey or whatever, right? You can disobey illegal orders. Thank you, Sean. That's not what the law says. The law says you have to disobey illegal orders, not that you can. Not appropriate, right? Can does not work here. It's you have to, because otherwise you risk going to prison, basically. Now, what happened? Trump got upset. Hegseth, right, at the Pentagon got upset. They first tried to punish Mark Kelly, who's the Democratic member of Congress, right? Okay, well, bye. Sorry, somebody's being a troll. I love when people be trolls and then they get bitchy, and it's like, well, you do realize we literally can just go and you're banned. It's not rocket science. Sorry guys, we just have people being really rude and trolly. So exactly what Solak just said. You have to disobey illegal orders. You have to say no to illegal orders. You don't get the option to say sometimes. The Democrats they were wrong because they said you can. Not you can disobey them. You must disobey them. Trump freaked out. The Republicans freaked out. Oh, thank you, Zixi. That's funny. That's a goofy gift. Thank you for that. Right. They all freaked out. They started going after Mark Kelly, who's the former astronaut, former military hero, and went after him. And now they're trying to demote him. They're trying to take away his pension, do all sorts of, they want to possibly call him up and court-martial him, throw him to prison, all because he correctly explained the law. Thank you, Mary. All because he correctly explained the law. Well, now what did they do? Yesterday, Trump secretly tried to indict the 6 members of Congress, 2 senators, 2 senators, I think 4 congressmen or Congress people, tried to indict them on felony charges or whatever to throw them in prison because A, they publicly disagreed with him, and B, they accurately explained to our troops what U.S. law says. That's what happened. We're at a stage in our democracy, we've talked about it before, that is so dangerous. This man is capable, sadly, of pretty much anything. And it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And at some point, we've got to figure out how we respond to that, because right now, the Europeans keep weighing in on the comments on TikTok, for example, in my videos. The Europeans keep weighing in and going, why don't you people do anything? And honestly, because we don't know what to do. I mean, our leaders, we don't know what to do at this point. What do you do within the law? What do you do, right? At this point, we don't have Congress, right? We hope that by the fall, we take back the House of Representatives. At this point, we will. The Senate, nobody thinks we can get it, but if Trump keeps pissing off people to this degree, you never know if the voters go crazy in the Senate as well. But at this point, I mean, this is so, what if he was able to indict them? Was he going to bring the Congress? Of course he was. He was going to bring the senators. Was he going to arrest them? Was he going to do mugshots of them? Probably. I mean, this is the stuff that at some point people need to say no. I mean, I feel like for the members of Congress, they literally need to say no. Come and get us. If I were the member of Congress, I would have said no. I'm calling thousands of supporters to come here, and they're going to surround my office. And if you try to and then they're going to surround me on the way home and surround me on the way back. And if you try to come for me, we're going to have a problem. But we need to have mass numbers of people stand up for democracy and say, Trump, you want to do it? You go for it, but you're going to have to cut through thousands of citizens to do it. And basically say no more on this stuff. And if that's what Republicans want to do, that's what they do. Really horrific stuff. Where was this? The Pam Bondi today. Actually, Speaker Johnson gets asked about it today. The Republican House Speaker, he says, yeah, I think they should be indicted. So now you got the top Republicans in Congress, or the top Republican in the House, agreeing with Trump on this crap, right? What else we got going here? This was actually funny. So they were talking today in the paper about why it is that the indictment failed. Well, first of all, it failed because a jury of our peers, grand jury in this case, got together and said, you can't prove your case. Now, grand juries are interesting because the way grand juries work is only the prosecutor gets to present their case. The defense doesn't get to present. So a grand jury, when they indict you, like we always think growing up, we always thought, oh my God, an indictment. It's almost like a conviction. You know what I mean? No, an indictment only means we're going to charge you with a crime and you got to go to court. They get indictments by only the prosecutor presenting. So the prosecutor gets there and they can just lie about you. Prosecutor gets there and says, oh, he did so many crimes. We've got so much evidence, right? And you can't get up there and go, no, I was actually that day in France and I've got my plane ticket. You can't do that. You can't do that. So it's very easy to do that, right? To basically go and prosecute, at least to get an indictment, right? Well, what happens next? So they don't get the indictment. Now, we found out part of the reason why they can't get lawyers to do this stuff, which is really good. They've lost a lot of prosecutors. They're trying to get new prosecutors. Nobody wants the job. They're saying that the Trump people across the country, the prosecutors they're getting at the Department of Justice are terrible. The new ones, most of the jobs are open because people don't even want them because they don't want to work for Trump. They don't want to work for, police Gestapo, whatever you want to call it, right? An entity that is basically a police force. So they can't get these guys. The guy she got that Pam, not Pam Bondi, Janine Pirro, who's a TV judge. I mean, she's a judge, but she's a TV judge. He grabbed the lady from TV to be his U.S. attorney, the prosecutor in D.C. And who did she get? Who did she get to try to indict the Democratic members of Congress? She got a lawyer/dance photographer. He's a practicing dance photographer. He photographs people dancing professionally. That's his business. And he's a lawyer on the side. That's the guy she got. The guy had no background at all doing this. He has no background working for the Department of Justice. I mean, she hired him last year, but he has no background and he screwed up. But I love that. And the story was great. The story about it literally said, hours before the indictment, or hours before he attempted the indictment, he posted an update on his dance photography website, which was fabulous because basically it showed that he was still working for the dance photography. We're going to get to Bondi in a second. The Bondi's the next story, but first I want to mention really quick. It's Judge Janine, not Judy, Janine. There are several TV judges. There's a black guy. There's a number of them. This is Judge Janine. The House defeated a rule last night. This was very interesting what happened. It's a little complicated because it's the House of Representatives. I used to work in the U.S. Senate. The rules are very complicated in both bodies, even more so when it's the other body, because I don't know the other body as well. But in the House, they pass these things called rules. Doesn't really matter. Bottom line is, to explain it, what a rule is it's a law that tells the House of Representatives what it's going to do going forward. Basically, they tried to pass this is again how anti-democratic these guys, how anti-democracy they are, the Republicans. They tried to pass a rule that would mandate that they aren't allowed to stop Trump's tariffs. Now, Congress is allowed to overrule Trump on the tariffs. Trump's tariff power is very limited, but he's been abusing it left and right. But it's very limited. Oh, thank you. There's a dragon gift over on TikTok. Thank you for the dragon gift, guys. Keep the gifts coming. The Congress is able to overrule Trump on the tariffs. And this is what's amazing. The House Republicans tried to pass a law that says the House can no longer overrule Donald Trump on the tariffs. Now, why not just have a vote? Well, because they thought they were going to lose the vote. They thought if there was a vote on whether the tariffs are overturned, they would lose it because Democrats would win and enough Republicans would run over. So they tried to pass a rule. They tried to pass a law that said the House Republicans are not, thank you, Chelsea, that House Republicans are not allowed to even vote on repealing Trump's tariffs. And what a surprise, a number of House Republicans said, that's insane. We're not going to, oh, hey, Luis, very nice gift. Woo. Thank you for the racing helmet, Luis. I appreciate that. Thank you. Right. So again, it gets even better today. We find out that the House Republican leadership didn't even want to pass this. They didn't even want to do it. The reason they did it is because Donald Trump made them. Donald Trump forced them to have the vote because he wanted to stop them from overturning his tariffs. Well, he lost. They lost big time, which was amazing and great and all of that, which is absolutely great. Oh, why am I against tariffs? Oh, Rand, wait until you hear this answer. We have new studies today I'm going to get to in a minute. Oh, my God, why am I against tariffs? Let's jump to that topic because Rand didn't know what Rand was doing by asking that question. That was the bad question to ask. You're in trouble now. So the Tax Foundation determined that the tariffs last year cost each American household $1,000 each household. This year, these are just Trump's tariffs. Trump's tariffs this year are costing each American household an additional $1,300. Oh, it gets better. The Congressional Budget Office did a study. Congressional Budget Office it's Congress. It's as apolitical as it gets. The Congressional Budget Office is literally a budget office established by Congress. It is 100% apolitical. They're not Democrats. They're not Republicans. They're a bunch of budget geeks who work for Congress. Okay. They did a study and guess what they found that came out this week as well. Congressional Budget Office determined that the tariffs are taxes. And we know this, okay? Tariffs are taxes. Tariffs literally say, this is how much more a good's going to cost. So when Trump Trump actually did put a 50% tariff on goods from Brazil. That means the price of things we buy from Brazil will go up 50%. Now, the question becomes, who pays it? Trump always says, oh, the country's going to pay it. Usually not. What usually happens is the country, for example, the country could say, let's pretend I'm Brazil. Brazil could say, well, Trump is now, and literally, Brazil sells coffee to the U.S. The coffee arrives at the U.S. Customs. And the U.S. Customs says, okay, this coffee is worth $100. The tariff is 50%. Somebody owes a $50 tax on this coffee. Okay? 50% tariff, 50% tax on the value. If it's $100 of coffee coming in, somebody owes 50%, that's $50. Brazil could pay it, but then there's no point in them selling the coffee to America because they're losing 50% right at the border. The company that buys the coffee, the importer, could pay it, but then they're in trouble too, right? Because literally the price of coffee got increased 50%. So typically what happens is maybe Brazil pays some of it, maybe the importer pays some of it, maybe they pass the price along to consumers by increasing the price of coffee. What did Congressional Budget Office determine? 95% of the tariff gets passed along to American consumers in increased prices. Thank you, Carrie. 95% of the tariff tax gets passed to you and me as a higher price. So when Trump puts 100% tariff on something, it raises the price 95%. So when he put a 50% tariff on all goods from Brazil, including coffee, that raised the price of coffee that you and I buy from Brazil by 47.5%. It almost doubled the price of coffee from Brazil. And a third of American coffee comes from Brazil. So that is why I'm against tariffs, because tariffs are a tax on American consumers. Inflation is already a problem in this country, and we should not be increasing taxes on Americans. But yeah, so thank you, Rana, for asking that question. I'm not sure you like the answer. You can Google it, but yeah, because tariffs are a tax on Americans, and Americans are taxed enough already, although we're not taxed as much as Europeans. Next, the Pam Bondi hearing. Okay, this we're going to talk about for a while. Pam Bondi is the attorney general. She's blonde. Trump likes her because she's blonde. He picks a lot of people surrounding him who are blonde. And she's testifying before the House of Representatives today. She's the attorney general. I think that would be like the minister of justice for European countries, right? She's in charge of justice, of prosecuting bad guys. She goes there, and most of the questions people asked were about Epstein. Even one of the Republicans on the panel, Tom Massey, who's very good, a conservative Republican, not running again, I think, and basically, thank you, Top K9, for that very cool gift. Thank you. She decides, she goes and she gets asked a ton about Epstein, okay? Now, think about this. You're the attorney general. You're the top prosecutor. You're getting asked a ton of questions about a horrific story, right? All right, now I'm going to give the dog a bit of water, and that's it for the next hour. 1 second. All right, this is all you're getting. All you're getting. I'm not Parker, so I'm not going to go pee. There we go. All right. Exactly there. I told her I'm not Parker, so I'm not going to pee during the show. There was a pee malfunction on Parker's show, apparently. Very funny. Oh, thank you for that. Appreciate that. So she gets asked about Epstein. I can't even explain the Epstein story because TikTok doesn't like when we talk about these things. But you all know the Epstein story, right? He violated underage girls, and he got his rich friends to violate underage girls. He provided them to his rich friends, a lot of them, very creepy stuff. And a lot of men have been implicated as at least friends and colleagues of Epstein. Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, Trump's Commerce Secretary. Right. There's a lot of people implicated as business associates, friends, colleagues, people who partied with him. We have not yet had much of a discussion on who committed crimes, who are actual suspects in the crimes, right? Well, okay, this woman is the attorney general. The country is outraged about Epstein. Republicans and Democrats both. I mean, Republicans irate about Epstein. It was one of Donald Trump's big issues he ran on was revealing the Epstein files, right? You know, telling people what happened. Democrats, interestingly enough, because Bill Clinton's one of the names that comes up a lot. Again, not clear what Clinton did or didn't do, but the name comes up a lot as a friend of Epstein. Democrats don't care. Democrats say, I want the truth, right? So Democrats are irate too. The polling shows the country across the board is pissed off about Epstein and wants to know what happened, and they want punishment. They want people who did these crimes to be punished. So Pam Bondi comes there. She's got an issue where the country, Republicans and Democrats both, are livid about Epstein and they want justice. Okay, that's the first thing. Second of all, the crime itself is really gross, right? Because he abused underage girls. It doesn't get much grosser than that, right? So if you're testifying as the top law enforcement official in America on this very serious topic, thank you, Marie, this very serious topic, you'd think you'd be contrite, right? You'd think you would show how much you care, right? Girls and boys both, yeah. How much you care about this, how important it is. Of course, you want to know the truth. Of course, you want to help the victims, right? So what does she do? You're going out once, dog. That's all you're getting. I shoveled the snow on the balcony today, so the dog is like beside herself looking for twigs she can eat. Pam Bondi comes, yells at the members of Congress. Thank you, Norway. Yells at the members of Congress, yells at the Republicans, yells at the Democrats, laughs at them. Changes, says, why are we talking about this? We shouldn't talk about this. We're done talking about this. We should be talking about the stock market and how great the stock market is doing. Guys, she's the attorney general. I didn't even pick up on the stock market stuff until somebody in the comments on TikTok goes, she's the attorney general. It's not her area, the stock market. What do you came to testify before Congress about crime in America and you want to talk about the stock market? It's literally not your job. She yelled at them. She screamed at them. She lectured them. And again, I want to put a finer point on this because she did it to Republicans too. She yelled at men and women asking her what she was doing to investigate a crime against children. That's it. That's it. And, you know, you got to wonder on this stuff. You've got, okay, hey, all right, hey, get in here. Sasha. She's eating again. Get in. My dog. The dog is old and she's part deaf. Get in here. You know? I try to be nice and let her go out so she can enjoy herself. And what does she do? I see her at my planter trying to eat stuff. God. Sorry. I have to patrol her because she's old and she's had some issues recently. So yeah, she yells and screams at these guys. I want to show you a couple of the clips. The stuff she said, I mean, I know what I have to say first before I show you some of the clips. Think about this. I mean, and again, with everything we know about how important this topic is, how much the people care about this topic, how horrible this topic is because of the victims being children at the time, why would Pam Bondi so desperately want to change to another topic? Why would she so desperately want this story to go away? Why does she so desperately not want to investigate? Why does she so desperately not want to find out who the perpetrators are? I mean, if it were me, right, and I were desperately trying to change the topic, right, and I was in charge of law enforcement, and I desperately didn't want to investigate. And when you asked me, one of the questions was, can you just tell us, are you investigating anyone? She went crazy. If that was me and I went crazy because you simply asked me, are you investigating anyone? There's two possibilities I can think of. Either I'm a criminal and I'm involved, which is why I don't want to talk about it. And I'm furious that you're asking me who am I investigating, or it's somebody close to me who's the criminal. My boss, my friend, my family, right? It's one of two things. That's the only reasons I would go crazy like she did today. Because guys, this is as easy. It's as easy as it gets, these questions. I mean, they weren't even really, they asked about Trump, but they weren't even really being that bad about Trump. You know, it wasn't, I mean, they were asking her some, again, I'm going to show you this right now. They were asking her some, I can't show, hold on, I've got to get my, I forgot I'm using my phone. My videos are on my phone. Let's see if they're on my iPad. Maybe, I don't know if I can show you this. We're about to find out. Let's see. I can't. I've only got 4% left. Son of a bitch. See, this is what happens. I tried to be good and use my phone today. I don't think I'm going to use my phone in the future. I've only got 4% left on the iPad. Son of a bitch. I might be able to show you one or two things, but shoot. I wasn't thinking that I'm using my camera today. I mean, my phone as my camera. Shoot. Let me see if I can find this. I'm a little worried. I don't think, you know what? I don't think it's going to work, guys. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to, damn it, I'm not going to be able to show you this. Son of a bitch. Any case, I'm going to leave it sit here and try to sync, but I don't think it's going to work. I can put it on the charger. It's not going to work. I mean, I can put it on the charger for a few minutes, but I don't think it's going to help. I will plug it in anyway. All right. Out of my way. All right. Oh, well. Yeah, we'll see. And I'm going to see how the video, because also the video is still lagging, but I want to see if the quality is any better. Like on TikTok, it's the same quality. But on YouTube, for example, if the quality is any better than yesterday or whether the video looks the same. I'd be curious. Because if it looks the same, then I especially am not going to use the phone in the future. But yeah, she got asked, she yelled every time. She just yelled and screamed. Tom Massey, the Republican, brought something up that was very funny. And he said, he tweeted today and said, a funny thing about Pam Bondi's insults to members of Congress who asked her serious questions. People would ask her questions, and she does this now. This is her shtick. She sits there and she does research on them and goes, they say, well, have you done any investigations of the Epstein, criminals? 20 years ago when you were in college, you got drunk. And she does this like they've done opposition research on the members of Congress and they just say nasty things to them. It's crazy, right? Well, Tom Massey says a funny thing about Bondi's insults to members of Congress who had serious questions. Her staff literally gave her flashcards. Flashcards are those little note cards. Her staff literally gave her flashcards with individualized insults, but she couldn't memorize them. So you can see her shuffle through them to find the flashcard insult that matched the member of Congress asking the question. So they're asking a question and she's going like this, going, oh shit, where's my insult? Where's my insult? I mean, it's funny, but it's not funny. This is our chief law enforcement officer in America. They're no longer here to enforce the law. They're here to enforce Donald Trump. Thank you, Aussie. You get a goat screaming for that one. Pick a goat, regular goat, Christmas goat, Halloween goat, big goat, small goat, and screaming pickle or yodeling pickle. Anyway, no, I didn't. Too bad I don't know the clips. Like I said, I should have charged my iPad before the show. As I said, I may not. I like having my phone available for the show. So I may any goat will do. All right, let's get the we'll do the Halloween goat. Is always we do like the Halloween goat because it's extra music too. And the scream seems so appropriate for the topics of discussion, All right, thank you for that. We'll do a pickle next time. All right, what else we got? The National Governors Association has canceled its annual dinner at the White House. This is a good thing. Trump. I mean, full-on wannabe dictator. Every year, the president holds a bipartisan dinner with Democrats and Republicans from the National Governors Association. There's an association of governors in America. And the president always has a dinner. All the Republicans, all the Democrats are invited from the various states and territories. Trump this year decides he doesn't like some of the governors, so he's not going to invite some of the Democrats. He uninvited the governor of Maryland, correct? He either didn't invite or uninvited the governor of Colorado, another Democrat. Then he turns around, and I believe what happened next was he said, no Democrats are coming. Well, the Democrats turned around and said, well, we're not going anyway. If you're going to start picking and choosing who's going, we're not going. Well, God bless them. There's a Republican, they switch the leadership, Republican, Democrat, they go back and forth of these bipartisan groups. The Republican running the National Governors Association put out a statement and said, we're pulling out of the dinner. We're no longer sponsoring it because if all of our members are not invited, then we're not doing it. So God bless them for standing up to him, which was great. But my God, and I think, Oklahoma, it was Oklahoma. Exactly. Yeah. Governor of Oklahoma, which is, pretty conservative state too. So good for him for standing up for bipartisanship. I want to talk about some economic stuff. There are some new polls out that are horrific for Trump, particularly on the economy. This was via CNN's Harry Enten. Harry Enten is their their pollster, not pollster, but he's the poll analyst at CNN who's very, very good. Harry Enten today. This is quote, on jobs, Americans think Trump took a beautiful swan and turned it into an ugly duckling. His net approval on jobs is down 22 points from last year, down 37 points with independents. 52% now rate the job market as bad, the highest percentage that think unemployment will go up since the Great Recession. Let me give you the detailed things. Okay. He says, absolutely crazy how much the American people have turned on Donald Trump. Now, Harry's very good, very objective, not a Democrat or a Republican. He enjoys polls. So when the polls are bad or really good or really bad, he enjoys it whether the victim is a Republican or a Democrat. Doesn't matter. Oh, thank you, Carrie. Oh, that's really cool. Oh, that's what I know those gifts. That's a very nice gift, Carrie. Thank you. Those are the 4 really cool, I forget what they call them, but they've got like the 4 different options. Thank you for that. Listen to this. Approval of Trump on jobs and unemployment. So do you approve or disapprove of Trump on jobs and unemployment? Or I should say, what percent approve? Trump, January of last year, so Trump, right when he got sworn into office, Trump's approval on jobs and unemployment was +9, meaning 49%, for example, approved, 40% disapproved. He was +9, right? You take the negative and the positive. So 40%, I'm making up the 40% number, but it was +9. So it could have been 41% disapprove and 50% approve, 9% different. He was +9 last year. Today, he's -13. There was a 22 percentage point drop in approval of Trump on jobs and the economy. So now he's underwater by 13 percentage points, meaning it would be like 50% disapprove and 37% approve. It's that bad. Okay. Independents, even worse. Independents went from right after the election. Independents supported Trump on the economy and jobs +7. So there was the approval versus the disapproval was +7. So 47% approve to 40% disapprove among independents. Thank you, Cindy Lou. Today, this is the number's crazy. A year ago, independents were +7. Okay. 7 percentage points more approve than disapprove among independents. Today, it's -30. -30 means like 50% approve, or excuse me, would be like 60% disapprove, 30% approve is -30. It's insane. It swung 37 points among independents. Support for Trump on the economy dropped 37 points, 37 percentage points. It's crazy how much it dropped. That's why Harry Enten was like going nuts today. He was like, this is insane. Americans rate the job market as bad or good. So Americans, do you rate the job market as bad or do you rate it as good? February of last year, 42% rated the job market as good. 42% rated the job market as bad, a tie. Today, 52% say bad, 33% say good. Okay? 19-point difference. Do you expect unemployment to go up or down in the next 6 months? A year ago, 38% thought it was going up. 38% thought it was going down. Thank you, Cindy Lou. Very nice gifts today. So it was even split 38-38, whether you thought unemployment was going up or down in the next 6 months. Today, 50% think unemployment is going up. Only 32% think it's going down. That is the highest percentage of concern about unemployment going up since the Great Recession of 2009. Now, Callum raised a question today and was asking, is the economy really that bad? Politically, it doesn't. This is what Biden faced. Politically, it doesn't really matter. If the public thinks the economy is bad, they're going to hold you responsible for it, especially if you don't focus on it. And one big problem Trump has had is that Trump has just refused to focus on the economy. He is, and I mean, at least if he tried, you'd think, although Biden, I think, tried, but couldn't get over the perception, right? People still thought Biden was responsible. He didn't do anything. They felt like Biden didn't do anything about inflation, right? Trump is focused on his Nobel Prize. Trump is focused on going to war. Thank you, Mario, for the gift membership. Trump is focused on going to war. right? Who's he going to blow up next? And Iran looks like the country is blown up next. Trump is focused on getting his Nobel Prize. Trump is focused on punishing his political enemies, right? Throwing Democrats in prison. My nose is itching again. Throwing Democrats in prison. That's what Trump is focused on. If you're a voter that is concerned with what is happening with the economy, you do not get the sense that Donald Trump cares, especially because Trump keeps saying the economy is doing great, right? Once again, I talked to you guys about this yesterday. Yesterday, Trump said, oh, inflation's fixed. You don't hear Democrats, he claimed, you don't hear Democrats talking about inflation anymore because they know it's good now, it's fixed. And everyone's going, what are you talking about? Inflation's not fixed. Prices aren't better. Prices are still bad and they keep going up, right? But so that's Trump's other problem is Biden had the problem of, I think Biden cared about the economy, but, voters still thought he didn't. In Trump's case, I don't think he does care about the economy, meaning he wants to focus on those other things. He wants to focus on his Nobel Prize. He wants to focus on his enemies. He wants to focus on his ballroom, right? He wants to focus on getting his name on the airport and getting his name on the bus station. He doesn't care about focusing on inflation, and people know it. Some economic numbers. There were 73 months of job growth before Trump was elected. Trump's last month, there were 130,000 new jobs last month. Under Biden, we averaged 336,000 new jobs a month. So 336,000 new jobs a month under Biden. Under Trump, 130,000 new jobs. Finer point on it. In 2023, the Biden economy added 3 million jobs for the year. In 2024, the Biden economy added 2.2 million jobs. Hey, seriously? What are you doing? She wants to play. She's behind me whining because now she wants to play. Seriously. Okay. Thank you. In 2025. Okay. Seriously. Sasha, come on. Walk around. My dog has become, I keep saying my mother, but my mother wasn't like this. My mother was really nice. She's become like a crotchety old lady. She decided she couldn't walk around the table. She had to go under the table specifically to where my tripod is that's holding my camera up. And she wanted me to move the tripod, but if I move the tripod, it screws up the broadcast. I'm like, oh my God, that's what that last moment was when I went, what are you doing? Right? She always insists on going over the tripod, play with my dog. I know I should quit the show. I should quit the show and play with my dog. Exactly. 2023, Biden economy added 3 million jobs. 2024, Biden economy added 2.2 million jobs. 2025, Trump economy added 181,000 jobs. Okay. Yeah, not good. Energy prices. A new Politico poll. Politico is very respected as well. More Americans think Democrats are the party most committed to reducing energy prices. Another sign of trouble for Trump. Interest rates. So again, economic stuff. Trump claimed today, because remember, Trump wants to lower interest rates because it'll juice the economy. It also runs the risk of causing massive inflation, which is very dangerous. This is why the Federal Reserve is being careful about interest rates. And of course, what is Trump doing? Because the Federal Reserve is being careful about interest rates, he's trying to throw them in prison. He's launched a criminal investigation, which he's not allowed to do, but he did it anyway. A criminal investigation of the Federal Reserve chairman, of the top guy at the Federal Reserve, because he's not lowering interest rates enough. Trump wants to either throw him in prison or force him out so that he can put someone else there who will lower interest rates more. This is how crazy this shit is, okay? Trump today claimed we need to lower interest rates further. He put out a big tweet. If we lower interest rates further, we can save at least, he says, at least $1 trillion in annual interest on our debt. He claims if interest rates were lower, we would save at least $1 trillion with a T on interest payments on our debt. Here's the problem. Our debt is the interest payments on our debt is $970 billion. $970 billion. Our entire interest payment on our debt is $970 billion. Trump says if interest rates come down, we can save at least $1 trillion on our payments. If your payment is 970, right? How do you save 1,000? You can eliminate all the payments and you wouldn't save $1 trillion, right? But also, you're not going to eliminate all the payments. If interest rates come down, you're going to eliminate part of the payments, maybe a quarter if we get lucky at the payments, but you're not going to eliminate all. I don't know if he lies. I don't know who pays the interest rates. I mean, we all do. Different interest rates, it's complicated how it works, but different interest rates do different things. For example, interest rates affect our debt. We have 37, or now it's maybe 38 trillion with a T dollars in national debt. Guess what? We owe interest on it. The interest payments, the interest rates affect how much interest we pay. We are paying almost $1 trillion a year in interest. Our budget overall is like 6 or 7 trillion. 15% of our budget is just interest payments. I mean, it's crazy. It's like having a credit card debt, and 15% or 20% of the money you spend each year is simply going to pay for the debt on your credit card. You're not even paying off your credit card. You're just paying the interest, right? So the debt's still there. It's crazy. So that's who pays. But who else pays interest rates? You do on your mortgage. You do when you buy a car, the interest rates you get, right? Interest rates also affect how much you get on your savings at the bank. So that's the good thing. If interest rates go up, you make more with your savings, but that's because you're losing money everywhere else, right? So generally, it's considered pretty good to have interest rates be low, generally speaking, Mike, I am here and have always been here, but TikTok, Mike said I disappeared. TikTok. They don't always, TikTok doesn't always promote me as much as I'd like. What can I tell you? Thank you, Christina, for the gift. What else do we have here? Hang on a second. Trump also said the U.S. economy, it can grow at a 15% rate, 15% annual rate. And he said, again, like it used to. The U.S. economy didn't used to grow at a 15% rate. The most it grew since World War II was in 1950 when it grew at 13%. That 1 year, 1950, it grew 13%. It never grew at 15. And today, if the U.S. economy grew at a 15% rate, inflation would be through the roof. Horrific. Today, you'd like the U.S. economy to grow at 4%. That's kind of more than that. They generally, at least when I was studying it, more than that's considered too much. Less than that, you'd like more. But if it grows too quickly, inflation happens and everything else. Again, and the historical average, again, it used to grow 15%. No, the historical average is 3.2% growth every year. That's the historical average. Again, is he a liar? Is he dumb? Yes, right? We know that. On this topic, like other ones, you never quite know if he's being dumb and uninformed or if he's lying, right? Either way, he's wrong. What else we had? This was a story I was going to show. Oh my God. I was going to tell you this story last night. We didn't have time and I didn't tell you, so I saved it for tonight. This is a wild story. Listen to this from CNN. President Trump critiqued the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. Remember DOGE? All the little children that Elon Musk hired to destroy our government. Trump criticized the Department of Government Efficiency for the haphazard way it led the downsizing of the federal workforce last year, noting it was, quote, the one thing I didn't like about DOGE. Quote, when you cut, get rid of the people that are doing a lousy job, Trump said. Thank you. Was that Winter? Thank you, Winter, for the gift. When you cut, you should get rid of the people that are doing a lousy job, Trump said. In other words, take care of the people that are doing a good job. And I didn't want a general cut. He said, I would have preferred targeted goals of 10% per agency and letting them choose who cuts. Donald Trump would like you to believe that some 22-year-old pimpled child decided to get rid of USAID, decided to get rid of the Department of Education. Both agencies are gone, thanks to Donald Trump and DOGE. Trump would like you to believe that he had no choice. The 22-year-old pimpled child unilaterally got rid of USAID. They unilaterally got rid of the Department of Education. They unilaterally fired 300,000 federal employees. which destroyed remember, it destroyed the IRS. We're in trouble with the IRS for years to come, our Internal Revenue Service. Remember, they fired all the nuclear experts, like the nuclear weapons safety experts they fired. We're to believe that these children eliminated entire agencies and Donald Trump had no say in the matter. Think about that, right? Do you really believe that Donald Trump was sitting there in the White House going, oh my God, stop, Elon, stop, big balls, or whatever the hell the guy was named, right? What are you doing? I don't want you firing all those employees and shutting down all those agencies, but I'm just Donald Trump, the president. What can I do to stop you? What is interesting to me is that he sounds panicky. I mean, for Trump to be saying that means they're in trouble. Actually, what's really interesting is that means he's in trouble about the government, the cutting back on the government agencies, which I didn't think he was necessarily. He's worried with polling or whatever that part of what's going to hurt them in the election in November is the public is not happy that they fired all these federal workers, that they let them go. That's it. I had not seen polling on that personally. But for Trump to say that, he's trying to distance himself from it and show how caring and concerned he is. Why is he trying to distance himself unless they've got numbers that say people are pissed about what you did? But what a Trumpian thing to do, though, right? Like, oh gosh, I wish Elon didn't do that. JD Vance said today that Trump's racist video of Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, the one where Trump showed them as being monkeys and apes, is not a real controversy. So JD Vance basically defended the racist video again. That was great. Tulsi Gabbard lied about why she was in Georgia. Tulsi Gabbard is the director of national intelligence at the White House, like the top spy, so to speak, at the White House. Trump sent her to run the raid on election files in Georgia. They were raiding the files from the 2020 election. Very creepy stuff going on here. They sent her, and a lot of people said, why is she there, right? Why is she there? That doesn't make any sense, right? It's a work in progress, Scott. I thought it maybe looked big too, but we'll work on it. Why was she there? Well, she said she showed up for the search because she has robust authority to oversee matters involving foreign intelligence threats to the election. So allegedly, she was investigating a foreign intelligence threat. That's why they were there. That's why they took the files. That's why she was overseeing it. Today, the affidavits supporting the search were unsealed. So the affidavits that the government had to give to the court, the legal documents the government had to give to the court, to the judge, to say, we want a warrant letting us seize these documents, they were unsealed. There isn't a word about foreign interference at all in any of the documents. She lied, which then raises the question, like I always say, why are they lying? Why was she there? Why was our top spy overseeing an investigation of the American election? That's creepy. And why is she lying about why she was there, right? If she wasn't doing anything untoward, why did she lie about it? Very creepy stuff. Poland and Italy say they will not be joining Trump's board of peace. That was good news today. And finally, Trump is sending is thinking of sending a second aircraft carrier strike group to the Middle East to prepare for war with Iran. Let's see what happens. Trump being Trump, you never know. But I mean, he did have a meeting with Netanyahu today. I'm adjusting my camera now so I can sit back. He did have a meeting with Netanyahu today. And I'm always a little suspicious when Trump meets with Netanyahu and then after the meeting said, oh, we've decided to give peace a chance. I heard that and I went, oh my God, we're bombing. Because that's what he said last time. Last time they used the Israelis. Remember? Netanyahu pretended he was going to a relative's wedding or something. And it was this whole big ruse they did to pretend that they weren't going to bomb. And, and they did, obviously. Again, 50-50 on bombing, but still, not appropriate. Anyway. Oh, that's really creepy, Mike. All right. Anyway. So what else? All right. So now we hang out for about 15 minutes. The show's not over. I'm still here, but I finished sort of going through the news that I think is newsworthy. And we now hang out and talk about it. So let's talk. The Texas airspace thing was crazy. I didn't even talk about the story because the story confused me so much. They shut down the airport in El Paso for weeks. It made no sense. They changed their story about it. Thank you, Rub It In. Appreciate that. Thank you, Chazak. They kept changing their story, and I don't know what the hell. I didn't even know what to say about it because the story was so weird. Yeah, don't know what's going on with sorry about this volume. The sound kicked out for a second for some people at TikTok. Oh, I mean, who knows what they're doing? A party balloon? Well, first they claimed, didn't they claim it was a drone from like drug lords in Mexico? And then it was like, oh, I guess not. We lied. Yeah, surprise. So it was a birthday balloon. It was literally a birthday. Maybe it was the dance photographer had birthday balloons for one of his photo shoots. Yeah, anti-drone laser system. Yeah. What could possibly go wrong with that? Exactly. Mass shooting in Canada. I did not see that. Nope. Thank you, Dole. My demeanor is calming, except that we're talking about things that are not calming at all, but I'm glad if it has that impact at least. I don't know if it's calming me much, but glad to hear it. School shooting. Ugh. Flights in Canada canceled to Cuba. What's that about? The dog is in the little bed underneath. She doesn't like being picked up, so I try not to bother her too much. She hates being picked up, really. 10 dead and 29 wounded. Wow. Oh, thank you, Terry. I haven't seen that one. Oh, I was supposed to shake my head. Oh, did they fly around? Interesting. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Oh, la, 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 la. What else? I know the Dawson Creek. So the Dawson Creek actor was interesting. The lead actor from Dawson's Creek died. He had stage 3 colorectal cancer. It was discovered through the routine colonoscopy he had at age 45. Now, only recently, I think, did they start doing colonoscopies at age 45. It used to be 50, and we recently got it to 45. His was already so far advanced that it killed him. The paper today said it may have been stage 4, but the People magazine today said stage 3. When I read it, whether they got it right or wrong, I don't know. I had asked a doctor about that years ago because there was another Democratic consultant who died. I can still see his face because he was all over social media, and he died in his 30s, and he had like colon cancer in his 30s. I mean, left a wife and kids. A horrific story. I remember because he was kind of geeky guy with glasses, nice guy. And I asked my doctor about it, and I said, like, what is it? Is it fast acting? Like, is that what it is? Like, I thought it was supposed to be slow. And what she said, it can be fast acting, but what she thought was more common. She said, unfortunately, it's probably the same kind of colon cancer. No, colorectal is a little different, but colon cancer. But he got it early. And basically, he could have had it for 20 years. He got it when he was a teenager or whatever, and it grew for 20 years. And you just don't know about it, right? And because you don't get checked until you're 45. So she said it doesn't really have to be that you got some advanced cancer that's very aggressive. Sometimes you just get it early, and because you're not checked. Oh, there you go. Your husband had a cancerous polyps at 30. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, at age 30. I mean, who would think of it at age 30? Yes, the dog was checked for arthritis. The vet does think she has arthritis. I mean, who knows? Her Rimadol might be helping. She still limps. We went a little far. We're not doing big walks, but we went sort of to the end of the short block today and back. And she certainly ran down I hate when we come home and my dog is old and her legs are bothering her, but we come home and she likes to run down the hall. And it drives me nuts because this has been 6 weeks of her or 5 weeks of her having bad legs. I don't want her 6 weeks. I don't want her running down the hall, right? She's kind of injured and she just runs down the freaking hall. And today I was kind of like, all right, whatever. What do you do? Anyway. I didn't see anything about Don Lemon today. Well, what happened with him. I didn't see I know he spoke today. I know he spoke like on the Hill or somewhere today, but I didn't see any details about anything. Yeah, no, you can certainly get high dog. I know you can get cancer early, of course. But like I said, what was interesting to me was when I asked the doctor, I was assuming they got some fast acting cancer, and she said no. It very often it's the same slow cancer. It just started earlier, and no one checks at that age. Which is sad. I hear you, dog. I hear you. Bondi mentioned him at the hearing. Again, horrible people. Horrible people. Jailing journalists, jailing opposition leaders. Like this is Hungary or something. Or Russia, not even Hungary. I don't even think Orban's gone that far, has he? The Canada shooter was a woman? For sure? Wow. But that is usually mass shooters are not women. Wow. Yeah, that's not a common that is not a common thing. Being the regional experts on mass shootings, America. Wow. Very bad. Anyway, sorry guys. I'm yawning now. Oh boy. Anyway, what else? Oops, I'm just looking here at what else we got. We do have a number of you on Facebook. We got a lot of you on Facebook today. I thought, what's funny? Facebook in the past didn't really get a lot of people. And today we've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12 people on Facebook, but that's kind of a lot for Facebook. Usually in the past I'd have 2. I hadn't done it in a while. Now I'm using a new service that lets me stream. In addition to TikTok, I'm streaming to like Facebook and Discord and a number of places. But that's I'm trying to really beef up my Discord presence. Most of them are on YouTube, of course. Actually, 4 on Twitch. Hey, Twitchers. I know Twitch is another one I haven't done in a while because if I don't use the streaming service, I can't stream to multiple sites because I've got too many web pages open, right? So, but I thought today I would try to stream to Discord because I'm getting that going again too, or focusing on it again with regular updates. So I'm streaming to Discord too. So it looks like it's working. I'm like, yay, Sasha, come on, stop. I'm getting the wine. She's early for her treat, but she wants it now. Can they impeach Pam Bondi? Yes, but Republicans control the Congress. You need a majority or more in the House to impeach somebody. Republicans aren't going to. Now, whether Democrats will. Now, I will say this. One thing that's going to be very interesting, and they're predicting this now, is that Democrats are going to get together. Hey, stop. Come on. Democrats are going to get together with Republicans and start to repeal some of Trump's tariffs, which should be very interesting. That should be very interesting. Canada, Brazil, etc. So that could be interesting. Discord shouldn't be asking you about government IDs. I don't think so. Somebody had that problem once with Discord, and we all were like, what the hell's that about? Something with government IDs, but it shouldn't be. But we couldn't figure out why. I forgot there was some weird reason with the person or something they were doing, or I don't know what it was. But they shouldn't be. Did I say Discord? I meant Substack. Substack I'm doing a lot of work on now. I may have said Discord. I meant Substack. Well, Discord, think about it. Discord was where Charlie Kirk's shooter was doing a lot of his stuff, right? I could imagine after that, Discord might have said, do we need stricter policies in some way? If in fact Discord did come up with new policies, that could be why. I don't know that they did anything wrong, but still kind of creepy that he and his friends were kind of discussing it, kind of. I mean, not entirely, but still. You know what I mean? So, but yes, Thomas Massey was very good. Republican congressman was all over Pam Bondi. Oh, so Discord is going to start age verification soon. Very interesting. That's interesting, huh? Well, they must have had some issues with young kids being on there or something. Who knows? Interesting. I mean, our community on Discord is so normal. It's not like it matters if you're 17 or 19 or whatever age. I mean, we're just talking politics. We're not getting into creepy stuff. That's interesting. A lot of kids on Discord. I did not know that, but I guess why not if there's communities for them, gaming communities or whatever it is, right? Anyway, a couple more minutes. We will hang. TikTokers, make sure to follow me. I always forget to ask. I'm reclining in my chair now. That's why I'm lower down on TikTok. Like, hello up there on TikTok. Thank you, Deb. Just an apartment, but I do like it. Anyway, what else? I'm sorry. My dog always gets me up in the morning to go out. She's old. I don't have choice. So, she didn't raise me though. My mom earned a lot more chits than my dog did. That's for sure. Your mom at least took care of you as a kid. I took care of my dog as a puppy, and now I'm taking care of her as a geriatric as well. I'm in Washington, D.C., Stacy. Yeah. Interesting. Anyway. I don't know. Favorite era or generation you lived through? I mean, I like the 1980s for a variety of reasons. One, I was in college. That was fun. Two, I lived abroad in Paris. That was fun. I went to Europe a lot that decade. I discovered Italy that decade, fell in love with it. Went to Greece as well. The music was to die for. I loved, and I still to this day, my favorite music is progressive rock. Hey, Andre, is progressive and alternative rock, new wave. Favorite, all-time favorite. I hated the music of the 70s, loved the music of the 80s. 90s was good. Dance music started to creep around 2000 or so, and I hate dance music. And dance music kind of never went away. I hate dance music. I like dancing to music, but I like new wave and progressive rock. So yeah, I think for me, the 80s were kind of a neat time. And I was just starting to work. I was in graduate school at Georgetown, which was so much fun. I started to work professionally. I was on Capitol Hill. That was so much fun. Because you have a lot of power working for a senator. It was pretty fun. So the 80s, if I picked an era in that sense, I'd say the 80s, because it really was pretty fun. 70s, well, also it depends on your age too, I suspect, right? I was in college and graduate school in the 80s, which might have also been why it was my fun era, maybe, right? I don't know. For all of us, I wonder if college was your favorite era. You know what I mean? It might be. I mean, if you went to college, it was pretty fun, learning was fun. All the living on your own. I mean, all that stuff, right? I worked for Ted Stevens, senator from Alaska. Oh, sorry. Ugh. For 5 years. You love the 70s? Yeah. But I just wonder about that. Like I said, I wonder if for people, if their best years they often look to are their college years in that era. I don't know what the Clintons are going to say during their testimony. It'll be interesting. Hillary's very good. I mean, Bill is too, but Bill's getting old. But Hillary's very good. I think they're going to school the Republicans. Hillary in particular. You went to ISU? Nice. I went to U of I. Yep. You retired in May. Good for you. I graduated before you, and I'm still not tired. I'm tired. I'm not retired though. The internet is a series of tubes. That was the best freaking video. That was not my issue. I did not work on that. I did actually work on the bridge to nowhere, which is very funny. I killed the bridge to nowhere. One of my colleagues, Dwayne, picked it up and ran with it once I left the office, but I killed it because it was too expensive. It wasn't really a bridge to nowhere. It was a bridge, as I recall, connecting like the airport to the town because they didn't connect. Alaska, there's a big Champaign. There's a big lack of roads in Alaska. So it really wasn't a bridge to nowhere, but it was like $100 million at the time, and it wasn't worth it. And I talked to like the chief of staff or the deputy chief of staff, and he said, yeah, push something else. I said, okay. But then my friend Dwayne was always happy to push things. Dwayne picked it up and ran with it and got the money. So, what do you do? Anyway. Yeah, Pam Bondi, I really do. I think the Pam Bondi stuff was a train wreck. Again, Trump likes it, and maybe MAGA people like it when Pam Bondi yells at Democrats and stuff. The problem is this time she was yelling at Democrats who were asking concerned questions about Jeffrey Epstein. And that was the mistake she made. The Democrats certainly did ask about Donald Trump, but their questions weren't really just about Donald Trump. And Republicans asked too. She yelled at Republicans too, right? That did not, a couple of times she said, like, basically, we should stop talking about this. We should be talking about the economy and how great the stock market's going. And you're like, so she wasn't saying we should stop talking about Donald Trump, right? And Epstein. She was saying we shouldn't be talking about Epstein at all. We should be talking instead about the stock market. Mind you, she's the attorney general. She has nothing to do with the stock market. But she didn't think Epstein was a valid issue to talk about at all. That's bad. And I think, like I said, people are bipartisan upset about Epstein, right? Even if some of you are Republicans here today, I don't know. We all agree on the Epstein stuff, I suspect, right? We all go, that's a creepy story. And like I've said before, I don't know if it's just Democrats, maybe Republicans too. I don't care who the hell's implicated. Let it fall where it's may. I love Bill Clinton. If Bill Clinton's implicated, oh well. But I love Bill Clinton. I will defend Bill Clinton to the end. Again, Monica, bad. Very bad. But I love Bill Clinton. But if he was involved, okay, right? Oh well. Yeah, exactly. Oh well. But I don't know about like if Republicans feel the same way. I think they may, where they kind of say, you know what? Whoever's caught up in it, if you got evidence, too bad. You know? Yeah, that's what I feel like. And so that's why I think for Bondi today, for Pam Bondi, it was really dumb for her to get so nasty during the hearing, because she wasn't just nasty to Democrats. She was nasty to Republicans. She was nasty to the issue overall. She did not think the Epstein scandal was a scandal. She did not think it was an issue worth investigating. She did not think it was an issue even worth being outraged about or discussing. Right? Not even outraged. She didn't even think she should discuss it. It was so unimportant of an issue. And that's not partisan. Is why do you keep attacking Donald Trump when there's other Democrats involved too, right? Fair enough. No. She, I mean, it was very, at one point she said to the Republican, oh, you didn't ask these questions when Merrick Garland was when the Democrat was Attorney General. And he turned to her, and it was a great clip. And he goes, I cared about this issue when Merrick Garland, when Bush, all the way back 20 years to the Bush presidency, I cared about this issue. He goes, they've been covering it up for 2 decades. And thank you for OC. He goes, they've been covering it up for 2 decades. And you're the latest person to be covering it up. And that's why we're talking to you. It was like, woo. But that's why I think she made a mistake in how she handled it today. Because she was it's classic Trump. She was being dismissive of the issue. And this is an issue people care about. And again, my God, it's child. I can't say the words because TikTok gets upset. The abuse of children. That is not an issue you suggest doesn't matter. It matters. Everyone agrees it matters. You know? Well, that's the thing too, is honestly, she was speaking to, it was all about Donald Trump. She wanted to make Trump happy. That's it. She wanted to make Trump happy. You know, I mean, that's what she wanted. So anyway, all right. We're at 7:15. I may call it quits here, guys. But thank you for joining us. This is, I think the experiments were, again, I'm not convinced I'm going to use my phone again tomorrow because I kind of liked having my phone handy, to be honest. We still got a lot of you guys over at Facebook. Hey, I assume you're still there. It's showing me you're still there. There's like 14 people at Facebook. That's nice. We've never had that many people hanging out over there. Excellent. Anyway, thanks for joining us. I may not use my phone next time, but I think I'm going to keep streaming to Discord if people are actually hanging out at Discord. Why not? Paula, you're there on Facebook. Hey, Paula. And for Discord, remember, I am going to be doing more Discord stuff too, or not Discord. I keep saying Discord. Substack. You're already on Discord. We know that. I meant Substack. I am going to be doing more stuff on Substack, so go check it out too if you would. All right, guys. Have a good night, everybody. I'm going to go deal with my whiny McDogstein sitting here. See what she's up to. Oh, Vicky, you're there too. Hey, Vicky. Good to see you again. All right, guys. I will talk to you later. Discord. I'm going to keep calling you Substack or vice versa, but Discord. Have a good night. All right, YouTube, you're next. Actually, YouTube and everybody but TikTok. I sign off simultaneously to you guys. All right. Have a good night, everybody. Sasha, stop.